Hi lovelies, and welcome back to this channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda's channel. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload a video, you will be the first person to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for all the love and support. To those people that share my videos and leave commentaries, you guys are the real MVP. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Alright lovelies, let's dive into this video. So lovelies, I came across this video on my For You page on TikTok, and I thought to share with you guys where this sister is asked to ask black women this question that actually got the whole of white women so upset. Guys, I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of the stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. Alright lovelies, let's dive into it.
Hey white women, I know y'all are getting real excited about the man versus bear conversation. I get it. But I just want us to sit in our hut of humility real quick and know that this is the same-ish thing as me asking, hey black women, hey, you're at work and you're alone in a room. Who would you rather walk in right now? You don't know what it is, a white man or a white woman. You're in a conference room alone. You have to be with one or the other. Which one is it going to be? Now, be careful how you feel about this, because how did man feel when we picked bear, okay? All right, women, I just want us all to just be in our proper placement. I love the conversation. I just, you know what I'm here for. That's it.
The man versus bear conversation by asking the question, hey black woman, if you're in a conference room at work, who would you rather come into that room, a white man or a white woman? Many black women have stitched that video to say they'd rather interact with a white male colleague, and I want to talk about why they're saying this. In her amazing book, Eloquent Rage, and in her chapter, White Girl Tears, Professor Brittany Cooper says this: white lady tears might not seem to be a big deal, but they're actually quite dangerous. When white women signal through their tears that they feel unsafe, misunderstood, or attacked, the whole world rises in their defense. One of the number one things black women are harmed by in the work environment is a misreading of their personality and affect, meaning black women get a lot of negative feedback about their level of collegiality and their level of professionalism. I think some of the reasons black women have a deep distrust of white women in the work environment is because if white women complain about black women at work, particularly our personality or our collegiality, this can deeply harm our careers. And within work environments and beyond, white women's emotionality has more power, systemic power, than black women's emotionality. By this, I mean black women have a distrust of how white women might weaponize their own emotions within the work environment, or might use their emotions to wield systemic power over black women at work. Brittany Cooper goes on to say, white women frequently don't recognize that though women are oppressed around the world, whiteness elevates the value of their femininity and allows them to get away with things that women of color would royally pay for. For example, while a white woman might be able to go to her HR and cry about an experience at work and say that she needs a remedy because she's hurting, black women might be seen as unprofessional if they cry or complain about their experiences of bias. Black womanhood is not systemically protected, while white womanhood is systemically protected. Now, this isn't to say that white women don't experience gender oppression. Absolutely, they do. But it is to say when white women are in relationships with black communities, white womanhood is much more protected than black womanhood or blackness in general. One strong example of this is looking at, the unaliving culture of black men as a result of complaints from white women. That when white women call the police or complain about black people, black men in particular, their fear can weaponize a whole system against black men themselves. And in fact, there's a text called At the Dark End of the Street, which is about all the abuse black women have experienced at the hands of white men. But this abuse has gone under-examined because black womanhood is not systemically protected. It's not seen as systemically important or sacred. I think for many white women, the first step is building friendships with black women, building friendships across identity lines, learning about black women's experiences in the world, and learning what it looks like to be a strong ally and advocate for black women at work and outside of work as well. Ultimately, in this chapter, Professor Cooper says, when white women cry, all other women's tears cease to matter. And I think that's what we have to continue to collectively interrogate. the intersection of race, emotionality, gender, and power that negatively impacts Black women and women of color, and that elevates white women within systemic power.
Sis, we're gonna go there. Okay, listen, I love this. All right, man versus bear. We know why so many people choose bear. That's fine. But Black woman goes into a conference room by herself, minding her business, but she has to choose who comes into that room with her when she's alone, a white woman or a white man. And people in her comments, this creator's comments, were so surprised to find that Black women would prefer it to be a white man. So why? Yeah, so people are saying, well, wait, I'm a white woman and I'm an ally. I'd never attack a Black woman. I would never SA a Black woman. I would never, fight a Black woman. It's not physical safety. It's not physical harm that we're concerned about. And I know that that's what white women are always concerned about for a very good reason when it comes to men. We still have concerns about our physical safety, but I'm much more concerned about racism in that situation. Yeah, because when it comes to a white man, his racism is much more blatant. It's much more obvious. When that white man comes into the conference room, if he has a problem, it's very clear in his eye contact. It's very clear in his tone, in his body language, in his lack of eye contact. I know what I'm dealing with right away. And I'm like, boom, I know who you are. With a white woman, it's much more insidious. I might not find out for years that this white woman has a problem with Black people. Now, when we're talking about man versus bear, are we saying all men? No, of course not. We're not saying that all men are worse than being mauled by a bear. Obviously not. We experience men all the time. We love men. It's fine. But I don't know if that man is going to be my best friend. I don't know if that man is a good man. I don't know if he's going to be my worst nightmare. But I do know what I'm getting into when it comes to the bear. And it's the same situation here. I do know what I'm getting into when it comes to that white man most of the time. The majority of the time. The high majority of the time. White woman, I don't always know. Right? Because that racism can be so insidious. Right? So working in DEI, I have to deal with microaggressions all the time. And it just happens, right? But 80% of the time, I would say the perpetrator, in my experience, is a white woman, which is like, it is what it is. Everyone has committed a microaggression at some point in their life. But it's the way that gets handled. When I call in a white man for a microaggression, he's either going to accept my advice and move on, grow, or I'm gonna have to escalate it and pass the baton on over to HR. The white woman, I'm gonna have to deal with a different level of defensiveness. Not all the time, but a good portion of the time. I have to deal with white tears. I have to deal with centering. I have to deal with virtue signaling. I have to deal with other things that can be very, very problematic. That's very sneaky to get me out of my role. I have had this experience. I have had so many conversations with Black women who've not only had to leave their job, get fired from their jobs for reasons they shouldn't have, but I have talked to Black women who've had to leave their industry because of the experience that they've had with white women who are racist. Now, does that mean that all white women are a problem? No, but it's good to understand that there's like an extra sense of guardedness, and it's important to understand that that there needs to be like a good intention of building trust, because there's so much history there. Not only just history, there's so much lived experience that Black women have had with a white woman who may have seemed really friendly, but it turns out had a lot of problems with Black people. And it's an issue. So I think that when we take a look at this situation, if it's something that makes you feel really fired up, instead of being mad, ask yourself why it's that way. The last thing that I'll say is, in the comments, there's a lot of people that are saying, white women specifically, that are saying, I just don't understand. I need you to explain this to me. I need you to be gentle with me when you explain this to me. I need you to share a resource with me, right? And I had told somebody in the comments, I made the mistake of saying, well, just Black women have written about this for a long time, that go read one of those. I need you to send me a link. That's the shit I'm talking about. Like, I'm an ally, just send me over a link and I'll learn from that. No, look it up yourself. It's that sense of, I'm like now your indentured servant and I have to go and do the work for you. Well, I want a more personal touch. I'm not here to give you the white glove treatment through my oppression. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's like being conscious of that issue, I think, is very important for folks to do. And yeah, I'm open for the dialogue.
White women, if you picked the bear, stop getting upset over the number of black women on this app who would pick the bear over you. Maybe stop invalidating other people's lived experiences if you want your own listened to.
You know what's wild? How many people are showing exactly why I would choose white man, because white man sees me as a woman. White woman doesn't see me as a woman. I need y'all to look and see how many comments are of women explaining to me what male violence could be. I'm 34. When I say man versus bear is similar to this, and you come in immediately and start explaining to me that men can do this and this and this and this, I find that very interesting and point proving. You want to be disgusted with me? I find that point proving.
Love how you get so close to the point. Love how you get so close to the point and just walk right past it. White Woman Whisperer did not exclude black women. She changed the question to show a parallel in experiences. Because as you may not have realized, black women are both black and women. So let me take your comment and flip it back on you. Love how patronizing you are. And love how you excluded race from this entire equation, as though white women can't perpetuate white violence towards black women just because we're women. And side note, this comment is exactly the reason why black women will choose white men. Perfect illustration of the point. Great job. Gold star for you. Love.
So there was a really interesting video made by White Woman Whisperer. I tried to stitch it and the audio didn't record, so I'm going to try to record it again here. Tag her below because you should go watch her video. But she basically poses the question, or opens up this discussion, this bear versus man discussion, to black women in asking, okay, if you're in an office, who would you rather walk in, a white man or a white woman? And she said that the collective answer would be a white man. And a lot of women are getting offended. A lot of white women are getting offended because they're like, oh my gosh, what a man could do to you is so much worse than a woman. Like, this is divisive. But like, you're not getting it. The reason why black women would choose a white man over a white woman is for the same reason that women as a collective, especially white women, would choose the bear over the man. It is the danger you know versus the danger you don't. And like, historically, the under the surface racism that white women have for black women has caused death and destruction and is absolutely a humongous danger. Because black women know, like in our society, that a white woman's accounting of things will always be taken more seriously than a black woman's. So she has to have like a distance because of personal safety. Now, I've seen this play out in my real life. I live in the South. I go to a lot of like influencer functions with like large groups of people, and I can see the difference between women of color who know me and women of color who don't, and how they interact with me and like the guard that they have up. And that's not offensive to me because it's common sense. I absolutely expect them to be apprehensive of a white woman in the South because they don't know what they're getting. But just as the whole point of the bear versus man conversation is to make men understand that women are innately apprehensive and cautious around all men, the question that White Woman Whisperer was posing is to make white women understand the cautiousness that black women have around white women. That sort of like being scared of me before I give them a reason not to is not offensive to me, because it is absolutely my responsibility to prove to these women that I am a safe person, not the other way around. You cannot like bully someone into trusting you with their personal safety. And that's a lesson for the men on the bear conversation too.
All right, so I'm getting ready for work, but as always, I was watching videos, and this whole white woman issue where we can grapple why women would choose the bear over a man, because the worst thing that could happen to us is definitely not, you know, assaults and unaliving. There's way worse that men can do to us. So in this whole topic of would a black woman rather be in a conference room with a white man or a white woman, or would a black man rather be with or walk into their cabin in the woods and find a bear or a white woman, and everybody's still choosing the bear, and white women who understand why women choose the bear can't understand why everyone else would also choose the bear. And here's the thing at the end of the day that loses me with all of you. I live in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We have an entire museum called Greenwood Rising dedicated to the Tulsa Race Massacre, which was brought on because of hysterical white woman actions. We have hundreds of pieces of history of white women behaving in ways out of nowhere on occasions to save their own asses, and causes massive harm to so many people in the process. And yet y'all are sitting here going, but we're your allies. Why would you choose the bear over us? Solidarity. I'm an ally. No, y'all, we will be permanently deconstructing. Like, I don't care if you've been deconstructing for 10 years, for 5 years, or for 5 months. 50 years from now, you will still be deconstructing. But in the meantime, you have to understand, I would also choose the bear over white women also. We are backstabby and maniacal and out for ourselves, and we have no concept of community as a whole. So yeah, anyways, I just want to throw that out there because it's so disingenuous. We are being so disingenuous right now, and we need to cut it out. Anyways, have a good Wednesday, y'all. Be good to each other.
So lovely. Apparently, there is this trend that has been going on TikTok. This trend actually started about 2 weeks back, where this question was, put out in a place. Like, I think it was actually a guy that asked this particular question, that if you as a woman and you are in the woods or something, and you are left with a choice to choose either to be with a man or to be with a bear, then a lot of women were choosing the bear. Like, so many women were giving reasons why they want to choose the bear. They want to be in the woods with the bear because they might feel safe with the with a bear compared to that of a man, that a man might end up doing so many things with them, like they don't feel safe being with a man in the woods. And like, there are so many people with so many reasons why they chose to be with a bear in the woods compared to being alone in the woods with a man. Like, so many people were just reacting to it. So this got to the extent where this young woman decided to ask the question. She flipped the table around, and she's directing this question to black women. When she asks the same question, if maybe in an organization, or you just walked into a room, be a conference room, and you were supposed to pick whom you want to be with in a conference room alone. If you would rather be with a white guy or a white woman, and so many black women were choosing to be with a white man. And this really, really upset a lot of white women. They were all over her in the comment section. I think I just need to put up the comments for you to just read. There are so many, like, they were just leaving the comment section. They were just, like, these white men were so upset that black women was actually choosing to be with a white man. Black women gave their reasons. White women was like, why would you choose? Why would you choose? Why? We were thinking that we were like, we are women, like we are here to stand up for each other. Like, women, we are all women. We are supposed to be here for each other. We are supposed to stand up for ourselves. We don't need to. Why are you going to choose a white man over us? Like, they were just so upset. But these black women have the reasons why they have to choose, white men. A lot of white women were like punk women were like, race shouldn't be a factor here, like race. And these women were like, race should be the first factor because you are a black woman, and also like you are a black person and a woman. Like this is just two different things. Just imagine, with all of the white hairs going around, with all of the history, with white women and black women, with what is happening in the workspaces, with the privileges. Like, do you know? A lot of black women actually gave their own opinion, the reasons why they felt so. A lot of people talked about how, black women can just disappoint you. Like, they'd rather be with a black man because these white women, pan-colored women, oh my God, are not they, like, you cannot trust them. Even if this actually made them to feel some type of way. But this is the reality of life. This is the reality. Like, in reality, black women are always the one at the receiving end. They will have to deal with so many things in their life. They will have to deal with men entirely, like men generally. They will have to deal with men generally, be it black men or white men and all of that, the misogynist and all of that. They will still be the one to deal with their own fellow brothers, like their own fellow black men. Because so there's some guys, like some black men that have a little problem with black women. Like in terms of dating, they don't even want to date them. They won't go outside. They tend to call them loud, and like I've been seeing some videos where some black guy will just, oh my God, I like to date out of my race because black women these are loud. I was like, oh my goodness. So a brother can actually be so vocal to talk about her sister like this, no matter what. Like we are all supposed to be there for each other. But these women, they'll still be the one to be. They will be the one to be talked down on. They will still be the one to call loud, even with their own brother. So they are dealing with men in general. They are also dealing with men, like black men, and they are still dealing with white women. Like, oh my goodness, they are still dealing with white women. In the sense that when something happens, like if something there should be a conflict between a white pan-colored woman and a black woman. Do you know that even no matter the explanation of this black woman, that they will still pick side with the pan-colored woman when she decides to like, create this her tears, her privilege? You think that they're gonna send whatever they're gonna see any explanation given to they're just gonna pick the pan-colored woman? So this is not something about, oh my God, you shouldn't be racial about this. No, it has nothing to do with it. No, the society has already made everything to do with race, and as it is, black women are the worst ones that is at the receiving end. They are the most ones that, like, just check. They are the most ones. It has to do with race because the society has actually made it to be about race. Seriously, lovelies. There is no two ways about it. There's no point crying over it or crying over spilled milk. This is just the reality. Do you want them to choose a white woman that might just, try to fabricate something that never happened? And, and you see how it is. They're choosing, to be Alice. They should be like, okay, Alice is a white man and she is a woman. There might be a little bit of advantage. Then compared to a black person that now happens to be a woman. Like, do you understand the logic right now? Okay, let's just put the table and ask if, it should be like a white woman and a black and a white man, then a black man. This black man will actually choose to be with a white woman. This is just a simple logic because they're already a black person, but they're a man and with the opposite sex. Because you cannot, a black man wouldn't want to be with a white man, because this white man is already feeling, is already feeling like angry that, okay, he's black, and on top of it is a man like me, so they feel a little bit of intimidated, and they will have to do everything in their power to put you down. Like, just take it. They will have to do anything to pull you down. Like, seriously, lovely, this is just something that has to do with logical thinking. It's not all about, oh my god, the society is already built with race. Everything is just all about race. Even when, the revolutions talked about how, our Yeshua is just a black man, people were like, okay, it doesn't have to do with color. No, it has to do with color, because that is how the society was built. And that is it. There's no point we're trying to, ignore the fact that this is just the fact. Let's not, try to pretend or ignorant, or maybe we don't know what is happening. We all know what is happening. We know how the society works. We know how all of these things works. So when I saw those, things on the comment section, they were all, oh my god, I thought we are all blah 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 blah. I was like, oh my goodness, this is how the society is. This is how it is. There's no point trying to cry over a spilled milk. Anyways, lovelies, why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or whatsoever. We're just here for educational purposes. So please share this video, subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do that, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one. And if you have watched up to this extent, thank you so much for all the love and support. Why not just leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or whatsoever. We're just here for educational purposes. So please share this video, subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do that, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.